some of the charts. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday morning free live stream on socials and in the Discord. So if I lose my voice a little bit, I got a little cough going on. But I'm here and ready to go. Big earnings yesterday with NVIDIA. I want to quickly look at the chart right now, see how that one's going. Let's see how we are. 196, we're up 5%. Pretty big move from yesterday with earnings, and I suppose the bubble has not burst yet. They're still growing. They're still beating revenue. They're still beating sales, and they're still raising their guidance. How about that? Good morning, Paul. So I took like a heavy dose of some flu stuff, so hopefully I don't go cuckoo on the stream. So there's that as well to look out for, to dodge. So I'm just going to look at NVIDIA. Let's see what's going on here. 5-minute chart. So it's in a very tight range going into the pre-market hours. So I'm going to bring it down a notch, probably to there. And then we got this resistance up above. So it's just trading in a very tight range. That is about $3, $2.50 to $3 range since we blasted up with earnings. So this is where it's trading in this box. And I am not going to trade inside that box. So that is the box that I'm just going to stay away from trading unless you really want to scout from the bottom to the top and you have time to do that and you're in front of the screen. Go for it. By all means, go for it. That's totally fine. I'm looking for a bigger breakout move to the upside or a breakdown move because that was a big significant move from last night. And we could start filling it to the downside a little bit before we start pushing back higher again. So for NVIDIA, I'm going to look for a break above this area, right? So just a break above this resistance area that it keeps bumping its head against and rejecting off of. So we want to get above this area, and then I am literally going to take it to 200. And then if we lose this area here, right, this little area here, then we can literally maybe scalp downside until we hold a significant level down here in the middle of this range that we blasted up. And then once we start to see some volume hold up one of these levels down here, then we can play the reversal. So let me put those details so that we know the actual levels that we're looking for. 194.49 is that bottom level. And then top level is 197.20, I would say, around there. Right? So that's the top line and bottom line. Now, if we're going to look to take this down, I'm going to look for about that level there. And this is long-term, I think NVIDIA is going to be just fine. But this is if we get some sellers come in at market open to take profit, maybe, we may get a little pullback. So that's what I'm going to look for there. Then I'm going to look for 200. 200's about here. Let me put that 200. So above this level, we go aim for that 199 to 200. And if we lose this level, then we aim for about 192 to 191 downside. Let me look at the option contracts for NVIDIA and see what we can find. Just a look on my phone while we're here. NVIDIA downside. Let's see. So tomorrow's the 11/21. So that's what I'm going to aim for because it's just a day trade today. So I'm going to look to trade. They're not going to update yet, right? Because we're not at market open. But I'm going to look to trade 190 puts. That's what I'm going to look to trade here. So 190 puts for 11/21. That's the video, right? And then above here, we're going to look, might as well take $200 calls, right? So 11/21, that's tomorrow's expiration weekly. And that's what I'm going to take. So this is an option plan for NVIDIA. And all I'm going to do is do the exact same thing I do in premium. I give 2 levels. I'm going to give the upside level when we break above, play to the upside. So 2 3-minute candle close above that resistance. And then once we get that close above resistance, the next candle is going to give me that opportunity to take the trade. Or if it decides to invalidate and pull back down, I'm not going to take it. Same thing with the downside. If we lose support and we close below support, the next candle is going to be the one that tells me if I should jump into those puts, or is that next candle going to engulf and go right back into the box? I'm not going to take the trade. So it really depends on that next candle once we close one of the candles above or below those levels. And let me put this on top, bring to the front, and bring this to the front. And then make it a little thicker here so we can see it. Maybe I'll put these black so that we can see them pretty clearly. The breakdown level or the break above. So I'll do that. And then these will be targets. The red lines will be targets. The green lines will be targets to the downside. Let me go through the chat here. Google shares looking pretty this morning. So yeah, all AI related stocks are pumping with NVIDIA. They're all just following right behind, and that's fun because we may just go to all-time highs if we continue up and NVIDIA blasts through 200. I don't think there's much stopping it. And we may just get that nice rally into the end of the year that we're looking for. I like that music so much too. Let me also check in the comments. I think we're good to go. NVIDIA, is there any other tickers you guys want me to look at and plan out before we hit that 9:30 bell? I don't want us all panicking at 9:30 and trying to jump into everything. So let me know if there's anything you want me to look at and plan around. Now, also, if you're going to mention a ticker, mention the actual ticker, and if it's options or equity, like day trading equity or stock, or the option trade that you're looking for. Unity, yeah. Do you want to play option side, like day trading options? Well, Shai is a great guy, and he's smart because that is true. Everyone thought the bubble was going to pop. Michael Burry, the short seller, right? He's probably licking his wounds right now. He's probably thinking he may need PBU and penny boys to start learning how to trade properly. So maybe if he's hearing us now, click on the link, Michael Burry, and get in on penny boys and start learning how to trade with some confirmation. That's right, give him the paddle. So let's go through Unity. So let's go through Unity. We got plenty of time now, right? We got about an hour for this stream, and then we're going to go into the coaching, where we go into detail how to find particular long-term growth stocks to hold long-term based on fundamentals, based on technicals. We go over that in coaching, and that is at 11 o'clock today in the Discord. So I'm going to go over Unity, and we're going to see what that one is showing us. It's quite the move yesterday. Did they have earnings yesterday? What did they have yesterday? Let's go to the daily and see. They had some news. Let's see what it is. Announced in partnership with Epic Games, enabling Unity developers to publish games directly into Fortnite. Oh, that's nice. So on the daily, we're bumping our head against the SMA 50. That's something to think about. So, and pre-market, we're above the SMA 50. So, yeah, some interesting stuff there. So we're going to go down to knock it down to the 3-minute. And I'll just be looking at taking out this resistance. These little blocks are resistance areas, like supply demand. So I'd be looking for probably a break above that level there to play upside. And then if you want to play downside, lose that area there. So we're looking at above probably 40.5 cents. And then you can play this up to probably this yesterday's high of 41.10 first. And play some calls, some day trade, some calls. And then if we don't get that and we start to pull back, then you can look to play downside if we lose, say, $40. So for that, I would look for volume to take us above this line, play it up here, take it below this line, play it down to these levels here. Really depends how we go into market open, if the volume decides to flow in on the buy side for everything, because in the video, the bubble's not burst, everyone's fine, you know, we're all great. Initial claims, jobless claims for September came in lower than expected. So there is some good stuff here, catalysts that can really push the market higher. So we have to look out for that. But it's good to plan both sides. So that is my my play, Farouk, on calls above $40.50, and then puts is below $39.90. Say that. So those would be my levels to get above or below to take those trades. Don't forget the trial as well, guys. If you haven't tried out a trial, it's free, 5-day trial. In the Discord, there's a link that Nikki just posted. Click on that link, and you'll get access next week for the whole week. Unity has very low volume at the moment in pre-market. It's up 2.7%. So I want to see some influx of that volume to the upside or downside to take this trade. If it's like very low volume like this, a little choppy, look at these flat candlesticks. I don't like that. We need to see some more volume there to take this trade. But those are my levels to take calls or puts, and I will put that in the chat. There you go. And then we'll also look at NVDA. Let's go to NVDA, 3-minute chart. And I'm going to copy and paste this in the Discord for NVIDIA. There you go. Oh, absolutely. Anytime, buddy. So everyone prepared for market open. We've got about 3 minutes. What do we think? We're going to dump right off, or are we going to go to all-time highs here for NVIDIA? What does everyone think for NVIDIA? We're going to drop off a little bit, or are we going to just blast to 200? Let me go through the top gainers and see what's going on there too. So the watch list, let me just share the watch list with you guys as well. This is just equity day trade. So these are momentum style trades. We got to get the really good inflow of volume to take these trades, and for them to actually hit our entries, we need to see some strong volume. This is the actual watch list for the day, and there's some big ones on there. We just got to wait for the entries to play out, and then we can take them. MNDR is one that had some news, looking a little bit curly here on the bottom, just as we get to market open. So this one, we're looking for a break above 273. And if we go to a 3-minute on this ribbon, this is a strategy that we talk over in the coaching. We use it day trading, swing trading, long-term investing. This will help you get in and know when to sell, when to buy. But I'd be looking for a break above that 273. And then once we get above that, aim for the 3 plus, right? Because the last time it moved in pre-market this morning, we went from 6 o'clock all the way to 6:30, and this ripped from the mid $1 range all the way to the 4s. So if we get the volume and we can get above 273 and close a 2-3-minute candle above it, then I think we have a great chance to get to 3 plus again on this one. This is MNDR. They actually had some news as well. They made a deal to, what does it say here? Help more than double on AI data center deal, I suppose. So they have some AI data center deal that they made this morning. Their net loss is narrowed as well, and they have an AI-driven platform that's scaled. So just look for a 273 break, and then take this up to 3 plus. Here we go. 9:30. Let's go to NVIDIA. See what happens. So there are my levels, right? And we're already going down towards the bottom of the box. And I'm going to get rid of these channel levels, just go off my lines. So I'm not going to jump in right now. This is not for me, not a wise thing to do. This sell-off can easily just be bought right back up and we start to take off. So I want a few more candles to play out before I jump into this. Let me have a look. Yes, I think we see selling. Yes, and you see right now, Michelle, just what Michelle said. People are taking profits at market open. Already they're taking profits and we start to see it sell off. But let's see if we hold the bottom of this box here. We just opened 1 minute, so I'm not going to jump right in here. SPY is up to 673, so we're up about 1.6% on SPY. Looks really nice. Tesla's moving up 3%. So I'm going to take a look at those ones soon as well, but I'm going to focus on the video. See what we get here. SPY as well. SPY is ripping to a new high. So SPY was a hard one to trade because we're going into pre-market and going from pre-market to market open on SPY at pretty much a high of pre-market. So it's a little tough to play calls unless you swang them overnight. Then you're up handsomely and you're taking your profits. But to try to plan out a trade for SPY at pre-market highs, pretty tough to do, if you ask me. So NVIDIA is trying to fall right off here. Go down to 2-minute candle. So looking very they're selling off right now, taking some profits. And if I take a trade, I'll let you guys know personally. You can go also by your own plan. We kind of like to see personally everyone building their own plan and not just copying trades. But these levels are going to help you and kind of what I'm looking at to take once we lose these levels or to break these levels. You know, I wouldn't ask you to wait for me to buy to take a trade. We already done the pre-plan. We know what we're doing here. I'm a little sick, so I'm a little slow to buy stuff today. But NVIDIA looks, yep, selling right off here. There's no buyers yet, just selling. What we see. You're right, Michelle. We got some profit taken here. So nice candle close below this line. Follow through with this next candle. Then we look like we're gonna follow either through here or we're gonna start bouncing. We have to see. There's just gonna be a lot of volatility. Let me go to the 3 minutes. Says 3 minutes nice. It's still bearish. We got all the techs here, right? We got MA's bearish. We have RSI bearish, MACD bearish. Volumes getting a little bit more mixed to the buy side. About 50-50. Oh, more buying. I'm going to queue up something here on my, my Robin Hood. October's highs were 207 for NVIDIA. I can't see why we can't get there with those good earnings. So let me see. I'm going to look for a call. I'm going to just queue up a call here. I like the buying down here now. Finally, we got some pickup. And I'm still going to look at those. Let me see. November 21st. I'm going to look to take $200 calls still. I'll let you know when I grab. I'm just going to grab a couple. They're pretty cheap. They're about $1, about $100 a piece. Where is it? Yeah, $200 calls for Friday, about $1 a piece, about $100. I just want to see some more buying before I take any calls. Want to start to get back up here again. Right now, we're just bearish. So if you're in puts, that's some nice profit there. I'm going to look at Tesla here as well. Let me see what Tesla's doing. Let me see that. To 418. If Tesla loses 418, like a 2-minute candle, we start to trend under 418. I like that for downside momentum again, but it needs to lose 418 first. I got on my top screen, I got 418 as my pivot level. If we lose that, that's nice for Tesla. But right now, very bullish until we start to roll over a little bit. Okay. Anyone take any trades yet? So those NVIDIA calls, I'm going to try something over here once we get back in the box. I'm going to take some calls here. Once we get back over that line, I'm going to do a little bit of a riskier trade. But it's not going to be so risky for me just because I will have a stop loss and a plan for protecting my downside if it goes south, right? So I'm going to look to take those $200 calls once we get back above this line again. And then I'm going to look to take it to the top of this box and then so on from there. If we get back above this line, it's a go for me. Probably get so that's going to be about 194.50 is my level to get through for me to take some. And then Tesla, I'm going to queue up some Tesla as well. But Tesla's flying, so I'm not going to be looking to chase that one. What are we at? 415 puts. I'll go 415. $418. I'm just going to have it queued up to give me an alert on the chart once we lose it. And then it may happen, in a couple of hours. It may happen at the end of the day. But I'm going to get my alert on the screen just in case it happens. And then I'm going to take some a quick downside put. But right now it's still blasting, so nothing to see there. Tesla's just going. It's just ripping. Let me see how many Google calls. You're always in Google calls. Okay, messing with IVP. I think they had some news, but they're getting a little bit of volume down here. I believe they're probably going to get some extension because I think they're not compliant right now, but they dropped off heavily on that news, and they can easily get an extension for them to get back to being compliant, be over $1. For 30 executive days. So if they get any extension, any news like that, I think IVP will blast back up at least 20, 30, 40% from where it's at now. I think that's a bit overdone. Unless they do get delisted, then I wouldn't touch it. But they need to come out with some news about extension, and then I think that one pops again. So 418 for Tesla. It's still got it here. We're rolling over NVIDIA still, so it's still downside. So still looking for this to drop below here for me to take some puts here. So Tesla getting a nasty candle right here. Just need to see a follow through under this line and then play it down from there a little bit. At least catch up to the SMA ribbon, and then that could be a target point. But it's still above 418, so I'm not going to touch it until we get back below that level there. I take 415, or you can a little bit cheaper is 410 puts for tomorrow expiration. Get a little rollover. NVIDIA is still selling off. NVIDIA is finding it hard down here in the 193s to hold. How about break in before it dumps? Yeah, let's have a look at that on my top screen here. There's a nice little pump up to, what was that, near 16. So not bad. It just needs to hold above this level right now. It needs to hold about 1420, that IVP. Then I think we can still build from that level if we can just hold 1420 on the, it's 14 cents. So 1420. And then if it can hold that and build off that base, then I think we probably start seeing a new high of day shortly. So you got in at 14 cents, close to 16 cents. So that's really good profit. That's over 10% on that, Charlie, from your entry. Just got to make sure you don't go red there. And then... Tesla's blasting. Where's NVIDIA now? NVIDIA is still under that line. So I'm going to be very patient. I'm just going to focus on NVIDIA. Be very patient. Maybe another 15 minutes before I take this trade, but we're going to watch it and let it play out. Okay, we're retesting that line right now. Those calls are about $1.20, so they're about 120 bucks. So it's increasing, right? But if we can get over this line now on this 2-minute candle close, I'll look to take some calls once we get about above this line, and then the next line builds from that close above. So let's see what we get here. We're touching that line. I like the volume that's starting to come in now. We're starting to see this build up. Hopefully we start to build higher lows, higher highs along the way. So I like that we kind of bottomed out so far here. We got the high there, a higher low there. Let's start building back up here, right? That's really nice. Douglas Season didn't hit. Let's see that one. AUID has some news to do with AI as well. Yeah, they're joining their NVIDIA's Connect Advanced Enterprise. So they're doing some AI, and they made that deal today. That's why we got the pop. But this one does kind of fizzle out quite a bit, and volatility is always in that one. So just be careful for that AUID. But on like the daily, it has room on the daily. Like this could be a little start of a longer term pop for AUID. It's still under on the daily, the SMA ribbon, but it's getting very close to breaking back above, and that's about 235. So if you can close above 235, then this AUID, that could be the start of just a bigger move to the upside, because we've seen this go as high as like the 9s and 10s and bottom out around here in the 2s before and ride all the way back up to the 10s. So if this does decide to not fizzle out and we can build off of this base for the next couple of days and get above that 235, and then 260 is the SMA 50. If we can get above 260, that would really cement maybe a reversal for AUID, maybe a swing trade to go much higher. So I think maybe AUID may be a bigger kind of trade overall, but it needs to get through that SMA ribbon and the SMA 50 for us to say, well, this could be a start of a big reversal higher from where it's at. The video is trying to get into that above that line. I like this. Now we rejected here. Now this candle is now trying to get back into the box and to hold above. So I want to see this candle close. Got about 25 seconds. If this candle can close above this line and then the next candle starts to see some good continuation of the volume, I'm going to take those $200 calls for tomorrow. Day trade them up to the top of the box and then up to the red lines if we continue to blast. Got puts on TSLA beforehand, joined your stream. How you got a plan for that, Dave? Indy? I mean, you got puts and it's blasting up to 424. So I'd imagine you probably stopped out of TSLA puts, no? Yeah, that's rough. I'm sure that was rough. But if you have a plan and like a max stop, like, okay, well, before I get into the trade, let me write down what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop out if it hits 20% or 10%, and my target's going to be at least that 2 to the upside. So you can't risk 20% and only aim for 10, because that would be kind of a poor risk reward ratio. So if you're going to, think about your stop loss first before jumping into a trade. Protection is key. So if it's like, okay, well, I'll get into this call and it goes the opposite way, then let me make sure that I max my stop out at 10 or 15 or 20, wherever your risk, your max risk is, and don't sway from that. Don't change it, because you can lose a lot more if you do. And if you stop out, fight another day, go find the next setup, and on the next setup, you may make that money back, plus make some more. So we got this candle close above the line. This candle's opened up red. So I want to see some juice here, some buying juice. And then I will take this to the top. But right now, I don't like that we start to see more selling coming in right on the next candle. This needs to be more green, and then I will take those calls. I need to see more than one candle going in the same direction before I take a trade, not just one and then red and then green, then red, then green. You're just going to be, it's just a yo-yo at that point. I want to see green, 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 and then build, and then take that trade and with that momentum. Yeah, I'm out. Should have waited. Yeah, lost $60. At least, I mean, you capped it out, right? I would prefer an NVDA flush first. Yeah. Don't know. Those numbers are big. That's 62% year over year, and the quarter 4 is 65 billion. So that's quite strong numbers, huh? me put this line here as well. I want that line because I'm going to take, if we set up here, I'm going to have some drawdown on my stop loss. If I enter and it decides to pull back a little bit, I'm going to just max my stop if we lose this low of day. And that will be my max stop loss once I get into some calls. Right now, I'm not in nothing. No, I'm not playing puts. I'm not playing. I'm trying to buy some calls once we get back into that above that black line. So I'm trying to play the reversal here. We've found a base so far at 192 and change. So I'm trying to get a good setup for upside here. Now, if we reject and we reject and we reject and we start to roll over, then yeah, you can play some calls all the way back down, maybe lower from there. But right now, I'm just a little focused on the $200 calls for tomorrow's expiration. I like this. Now, 17 seconds for this candle to close. This looks juicy. I like what I'm seeing. Next candle's trying to build off of, then I'd like to take some calls here. See what we do. Silence. It's just silence. It's dead air right now. We're just waiting for these calls. Okay. A little risky, but I'm going to take one of those calls right now. The $200 calls. And it is filled. 128 fill on those calls. Very cheap calls. 128 is the fill. And I'm going to look to take this up to the top of the box. And that will be my target. Now, my stop loss, I think my stop loss is going to be a little bit higher. I'm going to put it to here because this is kind of where we see some support bounces off this line many times. So I'm going to give it that much room for downside for my stop loss. That may be 20%. If you're trying to go by percentage and you don't want to go by levels on the chart, then just make sure you cap out your stop loss at your max that you're willing to lose. My target's going to be to the top of the box here. They may move pretty quickly, calls. We may be very volatile. They're up to 142 already. We got in at 128. So you can see pretty much close to 8-9% already on those calls, just moving a little bit. If I get rid of this box, you'll see that's the SMA 50 right there. The SMA 50. So it's bumping its head against that SMA 50 day. So I'm going to give it a little bit of room. That's my risk. You don't have to do that. But this is where I'm going to stop out if we lose this area down here again. If we can blast here, then I'm going to start taking profits. When you feel comfortable, take your profits. Don't take a loss if you're up nicely already. It's just that SMA 50. If we can blast through that, I think we have a very good chance to get up to at least the top of the box as a target point. My fill was 128. Up to 145 a contract. That's a nice profit already. And at this point, when you're happy with the profit, you can also raise your stop to break even, so you don't take a loss whatsoever anymore in that trade. Really want to try to max this contract out to the top of the box. A little bit risky here, but I'm willing to hold it. We're up to 148 a contract. Not back and forth here. Spire's at a new high of day, near on 675. Tesla's up to a higher day in the 425. So we got some nice moves in other sectors as well. And I bought one contract, right? So I can't scale out. I'm just going to wait to take the profit. But I have some buying power on the side if I do want to add a little bit more. If we come down here and we retest and we bounce from there, potentially I could just add, you know, if we come down here, retest and we start moving, I just add another one. There's NVDA calls went a little bit red now. So far, max profit was about 15% from entry. Still holding it. Maybe it's the medicine talking. So we got a little pullback. Let's see what we do if we can just hold above this line here and just build off of that. That'd be sweet too. So let's see on the top screen, CRVA. Let's put them back to. Could come. Yeah, you're right. Could come. Best thing we can do is just make sure that we have protection in place if that does happen for our calls. And I'm, like I said, I got some room to add a few more contracts if we come down here or come down here and hold. That's okay. That's my risk. I'm willing to take on this contract. And don't forget, it's still at 4%. It's not even. This isn't even rough. This is just an easy little pullback. But it's still up really nicely from yesterday, right? So I wouldn't say it's too rough. So what happens when people take profits? One that I also put in the coaching section that I like long term is VAC. This VAC Marriott Vacation Club, it's like looks like it's hitting a bottom here. It's starting to reverse from this 45. It's up to 48 nearly, and then we got a lot of insider buying lately. They changed the CEO, so we got some some negative news there and uncertainty. But they changed their CEO, and if you look at the bigger time frame, we're at some lovely levels down here to pick up some VAC. We talked about this in the coaching and adding this. So if you like some longer term swings that could bring you 20, 30, 40% and not having to, follow it so hardcore every day, then definitely jump in the coaching and kind of hear some of these plans that we have based on our strategies off of support, resistance, weekly, monthly, and off of the ribbon, the SMA 20 ribbon that we use as well. But this one has very good potential from this $45 range all the way up. I mean, we've seen a lot of buying lately from insiders. So that's very positive in my book, especially at these levels down here where it hasn't been since, COVID again. So potentially VAC could definitely hit the 60s, 70s, 80s again if we can build that momentum from here. The video calls are still there. That it's hanging on. I need to see some more volume here. The actual, if you look at the trends, they're like a mix between bullish and bearish, mostly bearish at the moment. Getting a little bit of a bearish signal here. Tesla's going to a new high of day. Man, Tesla's just got a lot of volume. Oh yeah, that does. Wow. Tesla's just non-stop. Up to 426. Let's see on the bigger time frame, Tesla. Man, it is going. Look at this. Oh yeah, Tesla's on its way up again. Just there's not much, like it's blasting through a lot of resistances today on Tesla on the 2-hour time frame I'm looking at, and it's a lot of chop up here, but it's grinding. If you look at the 4-hour on Tesla, that's something to pay attention to on the 4-hour, because that is the SMA 50 that's bumping its head against right here. So that could be a rejection. I mean, it rejected right here, and it's been under the 50 for a couple of trading sessions. So like if that flips to getting above the SMA 50, then this could keep going, grind its way back to the 450s, 460s. But this also could be a rejection point here where you can see some downside on rejection on that SMA 50 day on the 4-hour. So what did you get? Calls? Good stuff on the calls. Oh, yeah. On the video? Yeah. So I'm watching Tesla at that SMA 50, and that is 427.50. If we get hard rejection there, I'm gonna go in little Tesla put day trade. Let's go back to the video. Yeah, I don't like that we just kind of fizzled out on that SMA 50 on this 3-minute. We're still holding up here. Let's see if we can build a base from this line and we can go higher from here. I'm okay to add maybe 2 more contracts to my one and average down a little bit, but my max is that second green line if we lose that. Starting to lose that line. Not looking good. 8 seconds for this candle to close. Now what we have to focus on protection, right? We know that it rolled over a little bit. There's about 15%. Didn't take it personally. But now is the time where you got to look to have your protection for this trade. Let's see where that hit to. I'm going to pull it up. I like Tesla. I'm going to take one Tesla put here. We're start to lose some levels. So I'm going to take one contract. It's going to be for 420. Let me just make sure this candle closes. Let's see if we get. I'm gonna get into Tesla too, but I'm gonna leave this NVIDIA. I'm still in this call. I'm down a little bit now, but I'm gonna look for this second line to hold, and then I can just add a few more. Should bring my average down good. I'll look for Tesla here. We're rolling over a little bit with Tesla, so I'm gonna add 420 puts for tomorrow. I got filled at 445 a contract on those ones. So I'm in Tesla 420 puts for 1121. That's what I'm in. And I got in at 445. That's my entry on one contract only. And then I'm still holding my NVIDIA. NVIDIA $200 call for 1121 too. Still holding. So those are the two that I'm holding. I put in the chat in the Discord. And for my stop with Tesla, I'm just going to say if we blast through high of day and we hold above high day, I stop out there. That's an easy stop loss for me. If we start to get back above that wick up here and we hold above it, that will be my cue to leave those puts and fight another day. We'll see. It's quite the big move. It had $20 move already. We're getting a little pullback now. Yeah, if I lose on both, tell me not to trade when I'm sick ever again. NVIDIA is coming down. So I'm going to look to take, like I say, if we can hold this little area here, I'm going to look to just add one more contract. If we lose that area, then I'm going to get out totally, take my loss. See here. Get a little bit of a bite down here. I'm gonna add one more contract to my video. right here. So I bought one at 128. I bought one at 88 on the contracts. So bought two contracts now. My average is 108 for NVIDIA now. So I got only two contracts, $200 calls for NVIDIA. I'm gonna write it in the chat in the Discord. Average now after just buying one 128 and one at 88. The average is 109 or 108, right? So we're down a little bit still. So I'm just going to stick to two contracts only with those average. I'm not going to buy any more here. This is my max, just two contracts. I don't want to go too crazy. And I'll look to take this higher again. If we lose this orange box, I take my loss, I lick my wounds, and that's okay. Tesla puts are coming up a little bit as well. We're working on some sell side volume on Tesla. Let me look at what they're at now. They're pretty much at where I bought them. 450. So they're 450 a contract on Tesla right this second. Let's try. Let me see. Yeah, welcome, Gio. We miss you, buddy. Miss you. You missed out on calls on the video. Okay, that's good, Michelle. You stuck to your own plan for it. That's okay. My plan was just to add a few contracts, but I got two now. And my average is at 108. My stop loss is if we lose that box. That's it. I'm out. I'm not going to bring any emotions into changing my mind. If we lose it, we lose it. Also, the Tesla puts are playing out as well. So taking a little hit on the NVIDIA, but at least I'm getting a little bit back on the Tesla puts. They're up to 473 a contract now. Those Tesla puts that we just grabbed. So we are getting some profit there in the Tesla puts. I'm surprised NVIDIA hasn't got a lot more volume here. Very weak down here. It's not doing as I thought. I think we get more volume here. We got so many upgrades on the video this morning as well, like into the high twos, the high threes. So I'm just surprised that we haven't got that volume on this one. About to lose this level and stop out of these ones. This candle, if a candle closes below this line, then I'm gonna exit. It's unfortunate. We've got about 30 seconds for this candle to close. Still holding. Let's see what happens with this next candle. If we get the sell-off, I'm exiting my calls. Let's see if it holds the bottom. If it doesn't hold this area, then we're going to a new low of day, I imagine. A little pickup here. Glad you got those Unity calls at least. You made some money there. That's nice. ADUR spike, that's good. What do we have there? Wow, that's quite the move on ADUR, huh? Up 26% from yesterday when I put out that update for that potential trade. From the fib level, the golden fib always comes through. And we're right at the golden fib on the fib retracement for ADUR. That's 26% up overnight. That's huge. Huge move. Nice. Got a minute left for this candle to close. If it closes below my little area, I'm going to sell out. Just know that. Let me update that one too. It's trying to hang on. It's trying to keep me in. Wants to keep me in as long as it's making me sweat right now. Those Tesla puts are up about 4%. So I'm gonna have my stop loss at break even at this point. I'm not going to take a loss in those Tesla puts. I don't want to, be dealing with that. So I'm going to have a stop loss at break even for those Tesla puts. If I hit it, I'm not going to lose anything there because it's starting to reverse. I think I've probably just stopped out already. Yeah, already stopped out on those Tesla puts. So break even on those Tesla puts, but there was about 7-8% on the line there. But nice reversal. NVIDIA is now reversing from the bottom level. So this is good. That's what I want to see. I like this. So the only thing I'm in now, guys, is the NVIDIA calls. They're still low. They're 82 cents a contract. We really need to get this bumping now for those to turn profitable. At 108 is my average, so I'm a little bit off my average there for sure. So this needs to start bumping up way up high for those to turn profitable. So I'm going to be patient on that, on those ones. RGTZ, you know what I think about that? All those garbage quantum stocks. They're pumping along today, but they're just going to go lower and lower over time. So I have nothing good to say about RGT either, Rigetti. The only thing that would save them is probably some kind of contract from the government. I think that's what would save them and get a little boost. But if there's nothing in the works there, RGTI is far away. And I think they're going to go way below $20 if nothing like that happens. Right, so get a little bump here. I like this. Making me want to add one more, but I'm not going to. Oh, 80 cents. Nice. Okay, we get a nice little bump. Come on, let's keep Let's keep building. RGTI is partnering with NVIDIA on some stuff. Well, please share that information. If it's good, then please share it. But we've been shorting RGTI from what, the 40s, so it's been a moneymaker already. And I wouldn't look at the daily on RGTI. I don't like it until we get back over about 29. If we get back above 29, then I could see that support holds again. Then maybe we start moving towards 35 again. But if we continue to lose, stay below 28, 29, then I think we just trickle our way down to probably about 17. And if you don't want to trade puts in RGTI, then you can look to play the leverage short ETF, which is RGTZ, and that's a 2x leverage. So there is risk behind it. But if you're playing the trend, then you should be just fine getting that confirmation first. Rigetti, quantum AI. Okay. That's interesting, but I think Quantum's quite far away. And Rigetti's like not making any money, then the margins are minus 1,000% or something. So, like when that changes, I'm for maybe investing in them. But right now, my bias is still the same until that starts to change. Because quantum computing, there's too many big competitors out there for Rigetti. Why would Rigetti be the head of quantum when you got companies like, Microsoft, you got companies like Apple, you got companies like NVIDIA, you got companies like AMD that would be way ahead of something from Rigetti, I think. So having a market cap of billions and billions of dollars and revenue of 7 million, that is a red flag for me. So that's why my theory still stays bearish on Rigetti. And I continue to trade that. But you got to remember, last week on our coaching stream, we played QBTS puts, and what was that, 50% plus on those for in a couple of days. We played QUBT puts, and we made about 40-50%. We played ASTS puts, and we made about 56%. So you can see the theme there, that we're making constant revenue on these overinflated quantum stocks, or space stocks, or whatever it is. We're taking advantage of that in the coaching. And we're just on a roll here. We're making a constant 40-50% returns on puts, swinging for a couple of days only. So I'm just keep sticking to what works for us until that changes, and then we will change along with it, right? So I'm all in now, Duca says. I'm in all now. I'm in. What's your target? I don't care. It's going to the moon. Who needs a target when it's going to all-time highs? Permaball will get you screwed. 2021, 2022 kind of got you in that situation where there's too many bulls out there, and then they just kept on buying and buying and buying, and then they just lost their ass. Got to know how to switch between the two. And and take advantage of some of the big names in those big dips. Of course, like Google, Amazon, Meta, all of those were generational buys in 2021, 2022, when everything dipped down. I mean, Google's now 200% higher. Amazon, the same. Meta's like 500-600% higher. So sometimes, you buy the big names on those big dips, but you don't buy it. You don't buy everything. You focus on the ones that are good. Fundamentals. Google is at all-time highs today, 305. Next target for Google is 307.90, 318, and I got 331 by just doing the extension on the fib retracement extension. So that's where I got for Google. I mean, it's in a whole league of its own. I don't buy bearish stuff. I just don't short them either. Yeah, shorting it's come with a lot of risk. I would just buy puts if you're trying to short something, because you can max out your loss on buying puts, right? Shorting, you can lose your ass and plus more. Lose 3 asses on shorting stocks if you don't know when to get out. All right. Any other stocks you want me to look at before I roll on out of here? I'm still in those calls. Still going to hold these calls. If we lose these levels down here, you're going to know deep down, you're going to think, okay, when is MadMaverick out of these calls? Okay, it dropped below these levels. I'm sure he's out now. Kind of think like that, because I'm not in the stream in a few minutes. But if we continue to ride our way up, my average is 108. Once we start seeing 20, 30, 40%, I'm out of those contracts. I'm happily out of those. Especially being down quite a bit here, I'm happy with getting out of those 20, 30, 40% return. But this needs to start moving. By lunchtime, we need to start to see it back up to the top of that box, or these are going to decay off and they're not going to do so well. So just make sure you have that downside protection. Upside, if we start to roll up, all you got to do is figure out where you want to take profit, where you're happy with taking it. Playing Bull earnings. Oh, goodness. Bull's earnings. Another one that I'm going to be watching, waiting. Bull is up 5% today. We did grab some at 806, and we were talking about that yesterday in this one. What I like about this, and I put a fib retracement on this level, and we got lower levels, right? So if you lose that bottom of the IPO, we lost all these the low, right, the all-time low, then this fib retracement helped me guide me where could we see the next level down. And we got the 1272, the 1414, and the 1618. Normally we get nice pickups from those levels. As you can see, the 1272 on the fib retracement extension is 804. We picked up from that 804 right there. So as long as we don't lose that level, I'd like this to start trending back up, at least to retest these previous lows of 1024. If we get back above there, then we have some room to get back into the 11s again. And this would just be the dip buy opportunity to go long. The fundamentals are not bad. We can look at those real quick before I jump on out. We can look at PEs 23, not bad. Forwards is a little bit high. But we can see that the trading 12 months, they're profitable. Revenue has increased, I believe. Let's go to the year, quarterly. So we can see that revenue growth has increased for Bull. We can see that if we go to the yearly, we are profitable in the net income trading 12 months. But this says here, negative 13 million. So maybe that would change because it says there already it's income positive. Free cash flows at 392. So that's strong. EPS is positive 36 cents per earnings per share. And then you got profit margin 16%, nearly 17. That's really good. Free cash flow margin 85%. So there's a lot of green flags in this one. They got a good cash position and they got available. Don't forget they got that whole credit facility available. If they want to sell some shares, they can get some cash from, I believe it's like Apollo or one of those companies, capital companies, if they want to raise cash. But right now they have about what's this, 1.1 billion in short-term investments. Cash is about 476. Assets outweigh their liability, and there is just some good stuff coming on. If they continue to build off of this in the next earnings, and we see it continue to get stronger in their income, then I think this one could just be a bottom, and it will start reversing pretty nicely again. So Webull, I don't really like that they have earnings, especially when we're all the way down here. We're not even in the bullish sell-up until we get back above that $10 change. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just bought shares. I don't have like a ton of shares, like 600 shares. I bought in the 8s and I bought in the low 8s. So I'm okay holding what I have. But if you're a bit over allocated, maybe think about changing that, so you're not risking too much going into earnings, because they can easily dump 50%. Let's be honest here. If they say the wrong number, then it's going to instantly drop 30%. We've seen how ruthless earnings can be. So see what I can get out of this one. So, would you add more on the dip? I personally, there's a rule for me with earnings. Is like after earnings, I normally wait like 3 days, like a rule there, because if it's really bad, we're gonna see more downside, probably more sell off in the next couple of days, and then once we hit bottom, after that, and we start to see some buying volume and that selling diminish, then I will look to add some there. Yes, absolutely, and I'll probably go much heavier than I have now at that position. But like the first day afterwards, I may just short temporary until we find the bottom, and then I sell my short, and then I add long again. I may just have 2 different accounts and short one side if we get bad earnings, and play it down as low as I can and make money on the short. And then I flip that money with profit, and then I will then add to the long once we get a bottom in place to my position. So I think I may just be like that. But if it's good earnings, we'd probably just ride up for the next couple of weeks, maybe, if they're really good. But yes, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Let's see what NVIDIA is doing. I'm glad I got out Tesla puts, because it's right into all-time high again, to 4 daily high. Okay, so these are still, hold on, still in this position. I need to see some more. Come on, some more girth here. What's going on in the video? Let's get some big money coming to this name. So I'm still going to be in those. Going to be in those calls. Either get stopped out if we lose the lows, or I continue to go higher and I make some money here. And if you guys need an update or need some help with that, and you're in that position, tag me in the chats. I'll help you in the Discord. So I'm going to jump on out. Yeah, they are getting crushed a little bit here. We need to see a big move here. That's it. Let's be honest. We need to see a big move way up to top of that box, and then they will make us some money at least for now. So yeah, I'm going to jump on out. It was fun. I will see you guys in the coaching. If you're interested in the coaching, let me bring that up real quick. I'll put it in. I'll tag you. There you go. I think you already did it. Thank you so much, Porter. I will see you guys in the coaching at 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm gonna still be in this play. Like I said, if this starts to ride up to 197, 200, I'm gonna be in profits and taking that profit. So I will see you guys in the coaching. Bye.